So let's get started. This will actually be super useful for collecting things. Okay, it's everything from the ground floor. I do have a little bit of basement, but I love collapsible tote bins like this because they store away to nothing. They are great for temporary uses, like running around your house and grabbing a bunch of supplies. They're actually great for grocery shopping too, because they keep everything really well contained and they're way easier to carry heavy things than a bag, for example, because they're very sturdy. Okay, a little bit to grab from the basement. Yes. That was not all winter stuff, but there is winter stuff in there, so I'm just going to deal with it. just a few more things. So now our goal is to move quickly when making decisions. With winter stuff, usually there's a lot less emotion. These are things that you are very quickly going through. But there are always going to be some things, like this little knitted beanie was knitted by a family friend who's no longer with us. And so I'll never part with it, even after all my kids outgrow it. So this is something that maybe is a little harder to sort, but winter boots, if they don't fit anyone, I'm going to have no issue donating them if they're still good. So from here, I'm going to make kind of first pass decision, which is I'm keeping this because it works. It does the job of keeping us warm and dry in the winter. Then if it doesn't do those jobs, the question becomes, will it do that job later? Meaning my younger daughter needs to grow into it. Or can it do that job for someone else? Meaning I should donate it. So I have the first decision to make, which is just, yes, it still works for my family, like right now, or no, it doesn't. And I'm going to make that secondary decision later. This is a little bit my red tagging system. It keeps the decision that I have to make very fast. So let's get started. This, yes. These are my scarves, and yes, this is going to be too small for my daughter next year, so I'm just going to put it in the bin. This, yes. This, I'm going to put it in the bin, probably for donation. These are size 4 snow pants. They will not fit my older daughter next year, but they will fit my younger daughter later. So I'm going to put them in my later bin. This is what the baby wore this year, and they will not fit her next year, but they're still in great shape. These are also size 4 snow pants, so we'll save those for later. These are some amazing waterproof pants that will fit my older daughter next year. Okay, then, so these are my guesses. Okay, these are rain boots. These really don't belong in my winter supply, but they are size 9, so they will fit my older daughter or my younger daughter later this summer. Okay, and then we've got some size 13 snow boots that will fit my daughter next year. 12 that fit her this year, but they probably won't next year, but they'll fit the baby in a year or two. So we'll hold on to those. These are 910s. These will fit the baby next year. These little cuties these are too small for anyone, so those are going to go in my donation bin. Oh. These Crocs will fit the baby this summer, so I'll hold on to those. Oh, these cutie little winter boots also going to be too small for everyone. These will probably fit the baby. These are great hiking boots. They fit my daughter right now, actually, so I'm going to keep those out. My winter boots, they will fit me great next year, so those can stay in my current rotation. Sort of hats. I don't think anybody has too many hats. We each basically have one, maybe 2 hats per person. Okay. Mittens. These are in pretty rough shape, actually. But they are kids' mittens. I think they'll still fit us next year. And then these are my husband's. This is my husband's neck warmer. Gloves. Let's make sure that I have all the pairs. 3 pairs of little cotton gloves. These little cuties No one's going to wear them next year, so I'm going to put those in the donation bin. Now, one thing about donating winter things is you really don't want to donate them in the off season. Places like Goodwill or your local charity thrift store, they do not have a place to store stuff all winter. So what I do is I usually make a bin or a bag with a date on it, like donate November 15th. And that way I just keep it in my basement in like a donations area so that come November I can just pull it and donate it. I don't question what's in it. But that way I'm sort of reducing the complexity for them or making them have to choose between, getting rid of stuff that's really high quality and really still good versus, not having a place to store it. Older daughter gloves, still good. These are my mittens, and they unfortunately have just started disintegrating. So these guys, I'm going to hold on to them until I get a replacement pair, but these are going to be high on my list to replace for next year. My other winter boots. Yes, I have two pairs of winter boots. One that is like a nice pair to wear to work, and one that is sort of my general slop around shoveling snow boots. Okay. This jacket, I would say, has probably run the course of its life. I have had it for 10 years, and no longer really keeps me warm. It no longer really keeps me dry. So as much as I hate throwing things away, it's probably not even donation quality. It's in pretty rough shape. It was a pretty cheap downfill, and I've worn it to death. So I'm going to go ahead and say this, you did great. You're going in the bin. Okay, I do have 3 winter coats for myself, which might be too many, but I like them. This is my husband's. And then I have, my big parka. A little wool, like bomber style coat, and then a long wool coat. I'm keeping all of them. 3 winter coats doesn't seem too excessive for me. And then I do have 3 like sweater duster things. One is like a house coat, one is a sweater. And then I have this sweater that I bought at the thrift store in Australia because I needed something, but I actually hate it. It doesn't have pockets, which I think is an abomination. And it's otherwise in good shape. So I will probably donate it, but I'm going to let it go for my life. Okay, so that's it. I've gone through everything I have. I've sorted it into 3 basic piles. 4. So I have all the stuff that is still good right now that I'm keeping. I have all of the stuff that I'm going to donate. I have all the stuff that is for future wear for my younger daughter to grow into. Now, the future daughter grow into is actually a whole bin right now, and some of it will be used next year. So it doesn't really make sense to have in the general bin. I'm going to pull it out and just put it in the stuff for next year bin. And then I do have one thing that I'm throwing away. So I've gone through all of it. Now, before I store it, which is going to be tomorrow's video, before I go through and store everything, we need to wash it. And that is just because you don't want to pull stuff out next year. And it's gross. My donation stuff, I actually don't wash until I'm about to donate it because I usually am adding things to the pile year round. So I keep all my donation stuff together. And then before I take it to the thrift store, the day before, I load it into the washer, load it into the dryer, make sure everything is clean, make sure everything is dried properly. And then I take it to the thrift store because the thrift store doesn't have the facilities to wash things. And sometimes people picking things up from the thrift store also do not have the facilities to wash things. So washing your stuff before it goes to the thrift store is really a great idea. It costs you almost nothing except a little bit of time. So that's my spiel for today. So I'm going to get through the coats, decide which ones actually can be washed here and which ones need to be cleaned professionally. Like my wool coats, I wouldn't try to put those in the washing machine. And but get my kids' coats washed, get them dried, and then tomorrow we are going to set up a seasonal swap. And usually it's one area of your house. You're going to sort of, a lot of times the summer stuff and the winter stuff doesn't take up exactly the same amount of size. Like wintertime, we have duvets and blankets. I actually do have a blanket in there that's going to go in my winter supply. So keep in mind that in the wintertime, that area is going to look like there's free space. And there's not free space. Don't let yourself think there's free space. So it's very important to demarcate this area very clearly. So with tape, label that this is your seasonal rotation area, and so that you don't fill it with stuff during the winter time. That then when you go to do your seasonal swap, you're like, great, where do I put all of these winter coats now? Because my seasonal swap area has been reclaimed for kids' toys. So that's it for today. I hope that you all learned something and felt motivated to do a quick little seasonal swap. And I'm looking forward to chatting with all of you tomorrow as we set up a seasonal rotation area. Thank you.